Okay. So human design is a very amazing self-discovery tool, and we've produced these two books along with a free software, and in this video we're going to show you how to get the best advantage out of the books. When you've downloaded the free software or you've received a chart from our free reports or paid reports from our website, you'll get a chart that looks something like this. And on the chart there are three areas to draw your attention to. Up in the top left-hand corner here is all this information that's written out in numbers with these symbols in the middle, and these symbols relate to the planets in our solar system. On the right here is what we call the life chart, and we're going to be looking at that too. And in the bottom here are some details that relate very particularly to the first human design book. That is this one here with the blue cover. What we're drawing your attention to particularly is what we call type, authority, and profile. These are what we call the three keys. In the blue book here, you will find exactly about your type in chapter 3 in the blue book. You'll find all about your authority, how you make decisions for yourself that are right in any circumstance, in chapter 4. And you'll be able to find all about your profile here in chapter 7. In the middle here, what we call the defined channels. These are these parts of the chart here that are colored in, and there will be a full description of these in chapter 5. So this is the recommended initial reading, to go with the human design book and discover what all this means to you in your life that is specific to your design. The book of lines is going to relate more specifically to this information up in the top left-hand corner of the chart here. Alongside each of these planetary symbols here, on the right side we've got numbers that are color-coded in black, and on the left side we've got numbers that are color-coded in pink. The numbers that are color-coded in black come from the moment of your birth, and we describe all this information as conscious information. So all the information contained in these black numbers here are things you're going to see and know and recognize about yourself, conscious information. On the left side over here, this is your whole genetic inheritance. First two from parents, everything else from further back in the family tree. So the large numbers here, either in the pink or the black, the larger printed numbers here, are going to be relating to the hexagrams in the I Ching, or the gates in this life chart of yours. The little number beside it are what we call the line numbers. And these line numbers get right down into the genetic coding that you have within you. So the line numbers, we're going to have a look through some of these line numbers with their hexagram numbers in the book of lines. So starting off here, we'll look at the 24th hexagram, or the 24th gateway, with the 4th line. In the book of lines, we turn to the 24th hexagram here. There's all this description up in the top here of what it's about. There's the placement of where it exists in the chart, which is up here. There's more description over here. And then if we're going to look at the 4th line, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4th line here. Now we're remembering the symbol alongside here is the circle with the dot in it, representing the sun. So when we look in the 24 with the 4th line, we look to see, do either of these symbols relate to that sun, the circle with the dot? And no, they don't. So in reading the 24 with the 4th line, this is the very specific part of the nature here. The description is being attentive, cultivating mental clarity while in the company of others. And because the sun is not in either of these two lines here, we read the next one down. You need to look for the balance between an easy mental pattern and a personally correct one. And so basically, the whole solar energy in this chart here is about being very clear, even in the company of many other people, everybody else's input, what is it that relates to your own truth in life. Let's have a look at the next one. The Earth here, this is where he grounds himself in his life, is in the 44 with the 4th line. So we turn to the 44th page, We have a general description of what the 44th hexagram or the 44th gate is all about. Here it is in the chart. Here it is in the wheel, in the sky around us. We read this information here: patterns meeting together. In any meeting of likes or opposites, acceptance and mutual tolerance is essential. So it could be said about David Beckham, he's somebody that knows very well how to make friends with people, how to make good company with people. It's a very easy thing for him to get along with people. And how does he do it? We look at the 44th with the 4th line here. And again, we're looking to see, we've got the symbol for the earth over here, the circle with a cross in it. We're checking to see if either of these have that same symbol. No, they don't. So we're just going to read the first 2 lines here. Forbearing, finding tolerance in your interactions with others. Being clear with your own intentions or not allows for you ever to have anyone else's support. So what he will have found in his lifetime is it really works very well for him when he's an ambassador, when he gets on with people, and that's when his greatest strengths come out. We go through each one of the lines, one after the other. Let's have a look, for instance, at the one alongside Mars here. So Mars has a lot to do with our outgoing energy, and if you want a little bit of a description about the various planetary inputs here, there's a page back here, the planet glyphs and their energetic influences. So Mars influence: activity, war, aggression, progress, and the urge to survive, sex. Okay, so that's the background of Mars input there. We turn to page 63 here, and we read all about Mars's influence, and 63 with the 5th line. It's the gateway of doubts, it's the gateway of critical perception, and we can read all of this. Your gift of critical perception needs forever tempering and attuning with its present environment. So, you know, as a professional sportsman, he's always having to stay in tune with whatever it is that's playing out in the field around him. And here we got the 5th line, so we go all the way down to the 5th line here. The line is called being beneficent, considering sincerity above showiness. And then we have a look that Mars is actually listed in these 2 symbols here. So instead of reading the 2nd line here, we're going to read the one alongside Mars here. You might easily forget to have a heartfelt celebration when you complete your endeavors. It's just to say he can get a little blasé sometimes about goal scoring or winning things, and for him it's always that good thing to remember to have a great celebration. Yes, to have this critical perception, yes, to be watching everything that's going on the field, but to also be able to celebrate when things turn out in a good way for him. So we do this one by one with all of these lines here, and then we have a look through the pink lines, the unconscious side, and we get a very good clue of what it is we've inherited in this lifetime genetically. So there's just a little bit of input in how to use the Book of Lines and how to use the Human Design Book.